There is significant news about Social Security, since it appears that the 2025 cost of living adjustment has recently gone up. This information was only released today, April 10th, 2024. Therefore, you should see this video if you receive any kind of Social Security benefit, including retirement, SSI, SSDI, or any other fixed income benefit. Just glance at the headlines that have been released today. Social Security's cost of living adjustment estimate rises, but seniors could struggle as inflation heats up. And the data that was released today directly led to this. Look at this, please. Hot March inflation came in at 3.5%, which is greater than anyone had predicted. The CPI report demonstrates. What that means now for the Fed is as follows: rate reductions, and in essence, the Fed's rate cuts may waver while high inflation endures. This indicates that inflation is not going away and that the cost of products is constantly rising, and it implies that persons receiving these Social Security fixed income benefits will require additional support. This implies that there may be a greater adjustment for cost of living. That implies, therefore, that individuals who are now reliant on these benefits may be experiencing hardship. And many continue to wonder if the $22,400 annual boost that was suggested in the Social Security Expansion Act would materialize, as well as the $200 monthly increase that the Biden administration mentioned back in 2020. Will we witness that become a reality? I will, however, keep you informed. However, we have heard a warning that even if you solely receive Social Security, you may still want to pay your taxes. And the reason for it is that while the tax brackets stay the same, the cost of living adjustment is raising benefits. Furthermore, we're hearing that 1/3 of SSDI recipients must file their taxes because they will owe. And stay tuned for additional information on that by reading through to the end. However, let's get you up to date on the most recent developments on the possible increase for the 2025 cost of living adjustment. Before we get started, please do me a little favor by clicking the like button if you enjoy the updates. It really helps the channel out. I really appreciate it. Click the subscribe button to stay current. It's completely free, so why not? As you are aware, I cite every source, project it onto the screen, and read directly from it to ensure that you may verify the most recent information for yourself. According to this article, after the government announced higher than expected inflation in March, the most recent projection for Social Security's cost of living adjustment, or COLA, for 2025 increased to 3%. Updated computations were displayed today, Wednesday. Now, with the monthly inflation rate reaccelerating in 2024, this increased COLA adjustment was the third of the year. We now know that the 2025 COLA forecast is 3.5 in March, indicating that it is rapidly and continuously rising. It was 1.75 in January and 2.4 in February. A comprehensive indicator of the price of goods and services is the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. According to a government data report released on Wednesday, it increased to 3.5% in March from a year earlier, from 3.2% in February, exceeding economists' average projection of 3.4%. The so-called core rate, which eliminates the erratic costs of food and energy, increased 3.8% year over year, remaining unchanged from February, but surpassing forecasts of 3.7%. Additionally, as I already indicated, this will have an immediate effect on Social Security's cost of living adjustment. Take a look. The Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, or CPIW, is the subgroup on which COLA is based. This number increased to 3.5% in February, from 3.1% in the previous reading, surpassing the 3.2% COLA that Social Security beneficiaries start receiving in January. Put differently, as of March 2024, the 3.2% cost of living increase that you were given for 2024 is not keeping up with inflation. According to Mary Johnson, a retired Social Security and Medicare policy researcher, this indicates that older consumers are losing purchasing power. And once more, the sharpest gains were also observed in all the areas where seniors spend the most. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, hospital services increased 7.5% year over year, the highest level since October 2010. Shelter prices increased 5.7%. Electricity increased by 5%, and transportation services increased by 10.7%. How is the COLA determined now? Every year, from July to September, the Social Security Administration bases its COLA on average yearly increases in the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, or CPIW. As a result, this rise is currently being felt as we approach the months when the cost of living adjustment for each and every Social Security beneficiary will be decided. With a few minor variations, the Urban Wage Earners Index generally corresponds to the monthly broad index released by the Labor Department. The Consumer Price Index for urban wage workers gained 3.5% last month, compared to a 3.5% increase for the total index. What was the 2024 cost of living adjustment then? As you may remember, in order to assist recipients in keeping up with the rate of inflation, Social Security payments to older persons were increased by 3.2% at the start of the year. As a result, the average retiree's benefit checks climbed by roughly $59 a month. And once more, a lot of people claim it is insufficient. Seniors are lagging behind more now. The goal of the cost of living adjustment is to prevent Social Security recipients' standard of living from declining by assisting them in keeping up with inflation. It hasn't succeeded, though. In actuality, according to the most recent U.S. Census Bureau data, the percentage of Americans 65 and older living in poverty jumped from 10.7% in 2021 to 14.1% in 2022, the most increase of any age group. Seniors are currently getting deeper into the red as a result of March inflation, exceeding the 3.2% cost of living adjustment beneficiaries received this year. According to Johnson, this causes retirement for many to be anything from carefree. Furthermore, more seniors have probably realized that they owe taxes on their Social Security benefits this year as tax season draws to an end on Monday. People's incomes climbed by 5.9% in 2021, 8.7% in 2023, and 3.2% this year due to increases in the cost of living adjustment. The amount of income you make determines how much of your Social Security is taxed. Certain states might also see a reduction. Furthermore, an increasing number of elderly taxpayers are becoming subject to tax on Social Security benefits above the age of 65, since the income thresholds that trigger the tax have never been updated for inflation since the tax went into force in 1984. Additionally, Johnson noted that as retirement income rises, the portion of taxable benefits may also rise. And for that reason, as I just explained, a lot of people argue that the cost of living adjustment that is in place now is insufficient. Across the board, raises of an extra $200 per month or $2,400 a year are required. The Social Security Expansion Act, the proposed law, has yet to acquire traction in Congress. Since we were informed that there would be rises everywhere, I will keep you informed. Furthermore, we've heard that although the tax bands have remained the same, benefits are rising and tax liabilities are rising. Additionally, they are stating that many Social Security recipients must file their taxes, and if you haven't already, you still have a short window of time to finish that. I went into great length about taxes and Social Security for you yesterday. To learn more about that and the most recent developments, watch the video that's right here. So if you haven't already, watch that video after this one, and I'll see you in the following one. Be careful.